Upon this rooftop, I'll be waiting for your love, anticipating. Boy, can't wait. Love bugs. Hello to my Patreon loves. Again, thank you so much for your monthly contribution for our exclusive book club. Now, for those who just watch me on YouTube and want to know how you can be a part of the book club, because you know the book club on Patreon gets some of these videos when you don't. Okay, here on YouTube. But if you're interested in joining our book club, you can hit the link below, the Patreon link below. And for a monthly fee of $5, you will be privy to all kinds of shenanigans. Enough talking about that. If you have not already done so, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, because it is so important to my success here on the YouTube. Now, let's talk about Rickety James' autobiography, Glow, Part 17. Look, y'all, I know you like, Nay ain't in costume. Nay cannot get, god damn, this always signifying. Look at my city behind me. My city is always behind me. But, yeah, I have a migraine today. I am not feeling well, but guess what? When you do this, you got to push through, child, and we're going to see if I can make this funny with this damn thing pounding on the right side of my head. So where we left off at part 16, Rickety James had arranged a meetup between him and his children, okay? Now, let me backtrack this a bit, you know. I'm going to tell this right quick, but, you know, what happened was he went to the airport, child, to pick up his children, picked up the wrong children. The woman was like, get your hands off my children. He was embarrassed for a minute, but then he met the right children, okay? The children stayed with him in his house for a while, and he took pride in how he decorated the children's room. He said that it took a minute for them to stop calling him Mr. James and start calling him Dad. His intentions was to be the best dad he could be to his children. Unfortunately, he admitted that he failed miserably. I believe that all men have good intentions when it comes down to their children. Sometimes I believe it's just the shame that gets in the way of their relationship with their children. So here he is now. We on the album Throwing Down. You know, Throwing Down had one major hit. You know, I guess he, you know, feeling a certain way, because don't forget, he's in the throes of passion with a, you know, a pickly piper, if you know what I'm saying, because, you know, YouTube be like, oh no, you can't be, you know, glorifying all that bullshit. I'm not glorifying none of that. I don't get down with all that mess, you know, YouTube gods, whoever you are that be, you know, manually reviewing my things. I don't rock with none of that shit. So, you know, put that on your paper. Check, Rob ain't with none of that. I'm just telling the goddamn story. So, like I was saying, you know, he's on this album, Throwing Down, and, you know, his life is just there. Now, he's flashing back to where he is back in jail. Don't forget that he is telling his story to Brother Guru in jail. Some of you guys maybe just finding this video, you remember when him and his whoever found this girl. You know, the girl was coming in thinking she was finna have a threesome with Rickety James and whatever, you know, I think his wife or something. You know, 2 days later, she tried to leave. Rickety James burnt her with a crack pipe and was like, bitch, you ain't going nowhere, sit down. Rickety James is having a conversation with Brother Guru, you know, back in jail, because this nigga is writing this from jail. But he is saying to Brother Guru, I just call myself a defiant human being. Brother Guru said, I think you need to give your defiance to God, brother. Did you ever meet Jim Brown? I'm saying to myself, why out of the blue? Maybe because Jim Brown was such a, you know, prominent figure in black culture at the time. But I was just like, why would you ask for Jim Brown of all people? But anyway, I digress. Did you ever meet Jim Brown? I heard that he was a real good dude, Rickety James. RJ said he was the best. He talks a lot, much like you, Brother Guru, but he used to come around when I was throwing down, you know. And throwing down, you know, to him meant, you know, the glass pickle or the pickle pipe or whatever it is, the peace pipe. And and Jim Brown used to tell him to get himself together. You need to get yourself together, Brother Ricky. You's a mess down here. Jim Brown said, brother, you are destroying yourself. I mean, but he just had reckless behavior. I believe listen, y'all gonna be like, Nay, what you talking about? I just believe that some children display reckless behavior very young, and if you're not the type of mother to get in front of those things, that baby is going to grow up to be a reckless ass child. Anyway, when Jim Brown would be like, you a whole mess, Rickety, what Rick James would do is he would counter that with, oh, Mr. Jim Brown, I got a lot of pressure here. I'm trying to form all these different groups. I'm making music. I need that, pickle pipe to create. You say that. So anyway, let's get to the good part. Ow! So anyway, here we go. Rickety James is like, it wasn't enough for him to outsell all of his idols, Men and Smokey. Okay, Marvin, he fucked his woman too. And Stevie. He said that he had to stick it to the man. He had to stick it to Berry D. Gordy. So what he did was, he was like, what was Berry D. Gordy's biggest success? At the Supreme. So in his mind, he's thinking of a concept. I need to come up with my own Supremes. And in comes the Color Girls. Hold tight. So what Rickety James said was that he wanted to invent an image of 4 girls. One was going to be a valley girl. Another one was going to be a classy vamp. Another one was going to be a leather queen. And the singer was going to be the male version of Rickety James. That was JoJo. Oh, that daggone JoJo girl, you better not let me catch you down here in Atlanta, girl. I hear you like the ladies. Yeah. My wife be like, don't go near that bitch. What Rickety James said was that he made a very foolish mistake and talked to Prince's manager and told him about his idea of having 4 girls. Next minute, Vanity 6. Wait a minute. You know what? That's true, y'all. Because when I've read Morris Day's book, he said that Prince wanted to make a version of his own Mary Jane girl. So he gave Rickety James credit. That was his idea first. But what I don't understand was Rickety James, why was you talking to Prince, the dude who you don't even like manager? Like, why would you talk to him? And then tell him some shit that you was working on. Maybe he was high. I don't know. The name of the group was Colored Girls. Okay, we know it's the Mary Janes, but hold tight, goddammit. So the name of the group was Colored Girls. And the Colored Girls needed Rick's attention and grooming. Okay, and how he broke it down was this. JoJo McDuffie, that was the lead. That was the female Rickety James. Max Wiley, that was the white dominatrix. Then it was Candace Candy Gaunt. She was the vamp. And then Cherry Wells, she was the Valley Girls. You know what, y'all? You know what's messed up? I think that the only one that could sing probably was JoJo. Could any of them other bitches sing? I mean, could they at least harmonize? Can y'all put that below and let me know if them bitches could sing? RJ said that he handpicked them and their costumes. They were trained and renamed by his mammy, the Mary Jane Girls. Thank you, mama. Thank you. He said the first 2 videos were made in Buffalo. Okay, Candyman Boy and All Night Long were hits immediately. Upon this rooftop, I'll be waiting for your love, anticipating. Boy, I can't wait to get it on. I want to give it to you. Moving on, the ladies opened on the Throwing Down tour. Now, for the Mary Jane Girls, there will be no fucking. The only person that could act a whole mess on Rickety James' team is Rickety James. No one will be fucking the Mary Jane Girls. He don't have time for no woman in JoJo's case, or no pickles in the rest of the girls' case to be confusing my ladies. I need to be the only one that can talk to them and get up in their heads. You know what that is, Because if he paying them $1,000, he don't need no another nigga saying, no, you need to be paying $2,000. Okay, what you won't do is fuck up Rickety James' money. This is funny. Didn't know this, but look. Here we go. We at the 1983, the Grammys, and Rick and Grace is on stage, and they are presenting the award for the R&B Vocal Performance of the Year. Sexual Healing won. Ooh, Rickety James was like, oh shit. I ain't seen this ninja since the last time I was hunching on his wife. Oh shit. Okay. Came, got his Grammy, He wasn't, concerned with Ricky James, not at that time, y'all, not at that time. Because this was his first award ever, or first Grammy ever. And I'm like, what in the Clarence Carter is that going on? Because he had so many hits along the way. How is Sexual Healing his last boom, his last hurrah, his Grammy? At least he got a Grammy before, What he said was that Marvin Gaye was very charming and very graceful when he came on stage to accept his award. And what Marvin politely said in Ricky James' ear was, that woman gave me the best years of my life. And I bet you Ricky James was like, she gave me the best head of my life. Ricky James, he'd be thinking he'd be in love, dudes like him would just admit, maybe I should just be single. Because if you falling in love every other week, Ninja, you need to be single. Okay? It's okay for you to fall in love, fall out of love, and then not call him no more unless you get a crazy bitch, because the crazy bitch just might kill you. Here we are. We're moving on to Cold-Blooded. Okay? Cold-Blooded. So here we are. We're on to Cold-Blooded. That's an R&B hit. Okay? Now, Ricky James said that Cold-Blooded wasn't representative of him. It was representative of that lady Linda Blair. That white woman that he fell in love with that, curried him. So what had happened was Linda Blair had made a decision on her own not to have a family with Ricky James. I don't blame you, girl. I don't blame you. You hear me? There would be no, just no. So Ricky James was in his feelings. He was like, how dare she decide to not be a part of my life and my family, or let us have a family together. Linda Blair, that was the best decision you ever made in your life. Okay, Ricky James in his feelings. Sorry, Rick. I'm sorry, boo. But having a baby with a reckless nigga always means trouble. He is at the advice of Quincy Jones, who told him, oh, brother, you need to put a studio in your house. Okay? That way you can work on your music whenever you get up in the middle of that, which is true, It is true, because sometimes you get ideas in the middle of your sleep and you just get up and just be like, let me take care of this right quick. You Bring the Freak Out was do I know that song? I don't know if I know that song. But anyway, You Bring the Freak Out was the follow-up to Cold-Blooded. And then Ebony Eyes, a duet with Smokey. Hey there, little girl. Can I just say I love you? Y'all better stop. Ooh, y'all know I loves me some Smokey. Ooh. Listen, I got a big cousin named Mick. I know y'all be like, Nay, you always talk about your cousins because they my babies. Anyway, I got a big cousin named Mick, y'all. Oh my gosh, she was so in love with Smokey Robinson, child. And when that song, Ebony Eyes, came out, when I tell you Mick thought that nigga was talking to her, Mick, my Aunt Crystal, and my mother and Honey, all the reasons why I know all this old school music, child. Thank y'all, I love you. Cold-Blooded was a big hit, and the Mary Jane Girls was killing it. Now in LA, RJ got word that Prince would be in the house. That nigga, Ricky James. Anyway, he got word that Prince was going to be in the house, right? So Rick gave his seats, the seats that Prince paid his money to or for, to Rod Stewart and his clan. How the fuck? So when Prince came down the aisle to go sit in his front row seats, child, guess what? Rod Stewart's wife said, Principal, you can go kiss my ass because you ain't getting these seats. We at the last leg of the tour. Okay. He looks up and he looks into the audience and he sees some little girls, rubbing and licking their tongues out at him. And he felt disgusted. Okay? He was highly prolifically disgusted. Ugh! These little minors, gross. But let's get into the story about 17. How dare he? So anyway, Ricky James is in his feelings because he felt like he done corrupted these little girls. Okay? He felt like, oh God, I am just sick to my stomach. He said he saw his disgustingness looking him in the face. Mm-hmm. Until, he got to the part where he was partying, hunching, and booger sugaring, with the little girl. So April 1st, 1984, Ricky James receives a call from Jan. Okay? Marvin Gaye is dead. Rick, he was going to be 45 tomorrow. Them damn Aries. Oof, my God, them Aries. But he was going to be 45 tomorrow. Before I go forward, guys, I want you guys to tell me, where were you when Marvin Gaye died? And I'm going to tell you my little thing, okay? I want y'all to put it below, because when significant things happen with African Americans, I like to hear other people's story. But where we were living in Northeast DC in Michigan Park. And there was this little pizzeria place over there by Taylor Bridge, over there by the 7-Eleven. It was like this, I don't even know if the inn is still there, but from time to time, my stepdad, my sister, and my mom, we would just have a family outing, okay? And that day, April 1st, 11 days before my little sister's birthday, but and that day, April 1st, we decided to have pizza as a family. Okay, that is a great tradition. Why don't families do that anymore? And something that was so devastating was that we learned while we was at the pizzeria, we were watching the television, because you know they have the televisions in the pizzeria, and we learned on the news that Marvin Gaye had been shot by his dad. You know, so Rickety James thinks to himself, damn, Marvin's dead? I knew he was on the peace pipe, but shit, so am I. In fact, while Jan was talking to him, he was on the peace pipe at that time. Now, he's saying to himself, you know, this is the last time me and the peace pipe gonna ever be with each other ever again. He said that shit lasted 24 hours. So here we are. RJ is worried about Jan's sobriety, because don't forget, you know, Jan liked to get high too. He's feeling like Marvin's death is making him fearful. He wants to stop smoking, but at the same time, he can't stop smoking. You know how it is? It's like that paranoia. And I heard when it comes down to the peace pipe, it be a paranoia associated with it that be having you gone. So Rick is talking about the few times that he OD'd, but he was able to keep it private, okay? So what Rick said was that he had him an old doctor, Dr. Feelgood, okay? Dr. Feelgood, a brother Hunchy that would write him a script for anything, you know? He said, in fact, him and the doctor would write songs together, because the doctor felt like it was an opportunity for him to be an old artist, okay? But it didn't matter, because the pills that Dr. Feelgood gave him eventually led him back to the pipe. Next OD happened when he was at home, okay? He was rushed to the hospital, okay? And he was supposed to stay there several weeks. Hold tight. Now, Jim Brown contacted Rickety James' mom, because Jim Brown felt like can't nobody help this ninja right here. The only person that couldn't possibly help him out would be his mammy. So his mother showed up to the hospital. Like I said, the hospital wanted him to stay a couple of weeks. He can't stay a couple of weeks, because he got to get back to his peace pipe, okay? So what ended up happening was he put his clothes on, he ready to go, okay? The doctors and the nurse was like, no, Rickety James, you must stay here. Mama come through the door. Son, you need to get better. You out of fucking control. He says, Ma, I got to go. She said, over my dead body, and stands in front of the door. Rick walks up to his mother, pushes his mother down to the floor. I said, God damn, I didn't put my hands on my mother. Damn, tried to reach down to pick her up. Mama was like, don't touch me, Satan, I didn't raise you to be like this. I don't know, girl. I don't know what the hell you raised him to be like. That motherfucker is awesome. Woo! You know, all that reminded me of, remember that episode in Lady Sings the Blues, when Diana Ross pulled that daggone razor blade on Billy D. Williams? It was like, give it to me! Give it to me! Billy G was like, oh, you gonna kill me for this shit, huh? After he shoved his mammy out the way, he ran to his dope man, okay? Hey, I'm, you know, hey, I need you. I've been thinking about you. I want you, you know. Anyway. At that point right there, he said, oh, I need to talk to somebody who's been through the throes of passion and recovered, okay? So Quincy Jones set up a date for him to meet, well, not a date, but a time and place for him to meet with Ray Charles. Ricky James arrives at Ray Charles' studio. Ray Charles go, Quincy said you needed to talk to me. I don't know nothing about that booger sugar, but hey, I tried it and nothing happened, all right? My gig was, you know, the juggy. That's what I did. And the only reason why I stopped is because the bitch told me I was going to go to jail if I didn't get clean. Rick James said to Ray Charles, brother, did it ever affect your work? Ray Charles said, fuck no. In fact, it made me better. So Barry D. Gordy's assistant is making demands. We need an album, brother. We need you to get something done. Ricky James said, I ain't ready. Barry Gordy's assistant said, well, we'll put out a greatest hits album and don't pay you a motherfucking thing. Rick James said, you can't do that. Yes, we can do that. Rick James brings himself back to, wait a minute, let me rethink this. Calm down. Calm down. Okay? Listen, I got 3 songs over there in the closet for you. Okay? 3 good songs. Okay? In the closet, right? I want you to give me $1 million for them 3 songs. The assistant was like, you want me to pay $330,000 to you for 3 fucking songs? Ricky James is like, yep. So one of the songs was 17. You know that charted. They was loving it. Everybody was dancing every way. 17 and sexy, 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 sexy. I don't even know the words to that song because when I think about it, I be like, oh God. Let me say this. 17 was a song that charted out of the 3 songs that was in the closet, right? Now, he made sure to say that 17 was legal hunching age. I mean, you better, because you don't want to admit to, hunching anything under that. But anyway, what was going on was he had these 2 young girl models, okay? And they was hunching together for months, okay? It was gray hairs and, milk everywhere. Now, the thing about it is Ricky James ain't as young as he want to be. Okay, so hold on. So one night after hunching the 2 young ladies, Miss Debbie Allen. Why Debbie Allen got to be a part of this? Leave my Debbie Allen out of this bullshit. Do not tarnish her name with this fuck shit. But anyway, one day his friend Debbie Allen called him and was like, Rickety, I want you to come down here and see me perform. Rick James was like, no, Debbie, I don't think I can do this. I've been around here with these 2 girls, these 2 young girls, doing whatever it is I do. And I ain't, it's only dust. Okay? It's only dust. Debbie said, you better make it hit. Click. Ricky James drags himself up out of the bed, moves the cookies and milk out the way. Okay? And then takes himself down to the show to see Debbie Allen. Now, he's sitting there, but he's so goddamn high and exhausted that he passes out at the show. End of the show, he wakes up. Debbie Allen pulls him into the dressing room, throws him in a chair, and sit on top of him. And was like, Rickety, you need to get yourself together. Son, you have visitors. Visitors? I don't got no visitors. Son, I think you need to see these people. They came all the way from LA to see you. It's your lawyer and your accountant. My lawyer is my accountant. The fuck? The lawyer and my accountant. The fuck? My lawyer and my accountant? What the fuck they want? Fuck they want? I know I've been on a tour the whole time, but... Now, if you have not already done so, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe because it is so important to my success here on the YouTube. Now, remember this. The same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. Naysayers, my patron loves. Have a good one.